All right, the gates are going to be open. We're going to follow Pooks out of the start.
Let's hear
for
it
these
for both
teams. It's a grand finals as Pooks immediately tries to get that invis off.
Yep, and immediately brought out. And he hasn't really had a successful invis opener this entire tournament.
Oh, not at all. All right, so at the beginning, of course, Snuts was going to be the target of choice, but it looks like they might choose to go on it. Wow, look at that damage immediately onto Pooks. He's got blazing speed up. He's going to try to LOS in this thing. Drops a ring down, but oh, he's in trouble right now. Wow, blocking quite early right there. The pet on him because we had an HOJ onto Toes. That HOJ fades, of course, right then. But look at this, Toes, 50,000 hit points. Not much crowd control except for the deep freeze onto Jungyup, who's now taking a lot of damage. Great hand of sacrifice right there, expecting the damage. But here comes the necrotic strikes onto Snuts, able to heal through him. And look, wow, now they're going to go on the DK.
It's so important to know here that Toes is playing a Paladin in this matchup, and that is going to make or break them. The Shaman is a bit of a weakness with that Paladin. We've seen his mobile heals, his instant heals are extremely powerful, and that freedom is going to allow them to get away from that DK time and time again, and that's what they need. They need to stay mobile as MLS, or in this case, MLP, and just set up these kills onto the Hunter Jungyup, or maybe just catch Sleepingss out of position.
All right, Goochii is in a deep freeze right now, but this is the longest he has played so far in a match without having to use any of his bubble. There we go. Now we're going to see a trinket. Pook's down to half right now. Necrotic strikes are coming out. Toes has an instant heal right there. There he goes. He's going to use that to get Pooks back up to full. Sleepingss still taking a lot of damage, and here comes the dot damage from the team of Skillcap. But Pooks is going to be the one person who needs to play his best scatter onto Toes. Scatter trap right there. Toes is going to, it's going to fade off of Toes right there.
Yep, no, it's a pretty brave evocate there for Pooks standing in front of all of that. Jungyup, you saw him feign earlier.
Oh, no, I get it. All right, so Snuts is running an imp this time for Singe. That is exactly why he's running that. Going to be able to dispel his Paladin, and that's huge because of the crowd control. That's what they were saying, the crowd control and the healer. And look at all this crowd control on OMG. We got Goochii into deep freeze, followed by a silence, having to shield right there. That is great. Oh, yeah, Skillcap is completely setting themselves up in this match, and oh, Sleeping is going to be caught in there.
Yeah, this is perfect for them. I mean, all they're doing is line of sighting, putting damage on the right target at the right time. And in that case, this is Goochii just to get his bubble down. He's got 4 Barons up now, so he's going to be an obvious target. And they're just playing such good positioning around to him.
But it's interesting. I would expect Skillcap to switch over to the healer faster, but that's not what they plan on doing. They're going to dot up Jungyup, who just trinkets right before that fear, eats a fear immediately after. As he's going to try to get into line of sight of Pooks, having some trouble with this tomb, of course. Seems to be running back and forth on the left side, but Goochii in a deep freeze, and this is what they can do to a Paladin when he has no way of getting away as he tries to get away with that sprint, but Pooks having to use his second block. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a race to see who can kill Pooks. Oh, and look at them switch onto Snuts, and as he tries to get away, very early bop. That was a great choice by Toes right there.
Yeah, look at that rapid fire damage coming out of Jungyup. You know, he's out of CC now. He's doing a lot of damage.
Pooks is in trouble.
Each of those hits
right
on
now.
Pooks is just
not looking good for Pooks as he is completely
down.
dropped.
And the fear peel is way too late out of Snuts.
Wow. That constant damage onto Pooks every single time he takes any damage. You know, once that barrier is down, he just spikes so hard.
I mean, the Mage is the weak link. You know, anytime you're playing PHDK, you go for the Mage. He is the control. He will set up these kills for Skillcap, and then they know that. OMG has to know that coming into this. So focusing Pooks, the natural choice. They were able to do it, and you can see how effective it is in this particular match.
Okay, so in this best of 5, currently it is going to be OMG with 1 round over Skillcap. Grand Finals, best of 5. It's so intense right now. Both teams are playing their very best, of course. Snuts' team, unfortunately, not winning that last round.
But it's just been a blur of amazing WoW matches.
Yeah, it's that DK Hunter. It's just so much damage. All right, so they are just making sure the players are ready to go. I'm going to send them right back in. So I want to see all this action right now.
Yeah, you can see what we're talking about. That's the natural counter to you know, Wizards, to Cloth, essentially, is that PHDK. You can see the amount of damage they can do just swapping to the Mage or back to Snuts or even just onto Toes. All it takes is 1 global with the silencing shot up, and Jungyup alone can get someone to 60%. And then you have Sleeping in there doing some damage. It just gets out of control really, really fast. Runes of Lordon is pretty tough for MLP and MLS to play around with that situation because the Hunter can sort of stay on the outskirts of the match and just rain down terror on you while you're trying to line of sight him around the tomb. So we'll see if it goes a little bit differently here on Blade's Edge. they'll have a better opportunity for sure, still playing that MLP, to lock him down. What I'm really looking for is to just get some CC onto Goochii, maybe open with a Hodge on Jungyup, or just go for the deep, big shatter, and just basically put him into deterrence immediately.
Now, if Pooks wasn't bursted so hard right after they forced the bubble out of Goochii, it looked like it was going into the favor of skill capped at that point, because once that Paladin is out of the cooldowns, I mean, yes, you have to put some crowd control onto Jungyup and Sleepingss if you want to survive through this, but I figured that would have been the end of it for Goochii right there.
For sure, but no, he was able to get away, and I don't think that was a mistake on skill cap's part. I think it was just how well the positioning worked out for OMG. It looks like Goochii was just playing the opposite side of Tomb, and there was a lot of pressure coming in from Jungyup and Sleeping, so Skillcap couldn't really afford to just chase blindly into Goochii. They had much bigger problems to deal with, so it allowed him to get away despite that early bubble.
So there we go. The gates are going to be opening. Second round in the World Finals. Blizzcon WoW Arena. They are going to be in right now as OMG is up 1-0, and right from the start, they are going to be looking to get onto Pooks. But now with Blaze Edge, this is going to be a little bit different, especially at the start. Of course, Snuts is going to play more aggressive at the start. As you see, they just tossed down a trap with that trap launcher.
Yep, there's actually no reason for Snuts not to play aggressive, because Pooks is a pretty big target for Jungyup. He needs to get dots rolling really badly, because if they can get dots rolling, keep someone low, keep 2 players low, any CC on Goochii will allow them to go for a kill much faster instead of having to chase someone around while Goochii sits in 1 or 2 volleys.
All right, so it looks like Snuts is going to use a Fell Hunter this time. Looks like he wants that spell lock, but look at Snuts taking so much damage already, using that rocket jump, and that's why he got it. Of course, Toes trying to keep him alive. Snuts by himself over there with Sleepingss, as Sleepingss really isn't choosing to attack him. Sleepingss looking for Pooks, and that's his target. He already used that AMS right from the start.
Yep, Pooks just standing mid-bridge. I mean, this is one of their only places they can really feasibly fight HBDK. They don't want to go down bottom if they can absolutely help it, because the line of sight becomes a lot more difficult for them to manipulate. So fighting up here on top bridge, I mean, the Hunter has such a big advantage. You can just see how he's peeking in and out, doing a ton of damage, and really not paying for it.
They are forcing OMG to play very passive right now, because they know every time they get into line of sight, they're going to be taking a lot of damage. Now, if they can land any sort of crowd control, but look at this, the water elemental of skill capped is snared, trying to get away, barely getting back, but then again, Sleeping's pet, wow, takes a big heal from the Paladin right there.
Yep, and Jungyup just trying to push up, put a little pressure out, and then falls back. All right, so they're not going to try to overextend into this at all.
As you can see, we're going to see Toes try to drink to full right there, with Snuts constantly putting out that dot pressure.
Yeah, a little soul harvest happening.
Now, both teams really don't want to commit quite yet, because as they know, if they push up this bridge, it could be trouble for the first person who makes it through. Deep freeze onto Goochii right there, looks like. Skill cap, there we go, they're pushing up. Toes is going to secure the center of the bridge, trying to get into line of sight position. Oh, and what was that? Hunter just jumped off the bridge by accident.
Yep, these things happen. Like I mentioned yesterday, disengage has become a little risky with such short range there. But I mean, hey, at least he wasn't taking a ton of damage. Sleeping, however, kind of a weird spot there. Looks like he's got sack up on him and AMS right now. But all those dots are rolling. He's got dots up on Jungyup. This is exactly where Snuts needs to be damage-wise.
Snuts trinket that HOJ immediately, because he could tell he had necrotic strikes on. He really needed to play defensively at that point. All right, so the DK pet is going to die right here. The first ghoul goes down, as Snuts drops another portal up top, because the shift is going to be down bottom. Of course, we see Pooks, using that long-range freeze on the players as they come back up. But look at this play. They're playing excellent line of sight position there, but Goochii taking so much damage as they're going right for him. This ring is the perfect position, because he knows that anyone up on top isn't going to be able to be healed at this point.
Goochii faking for just no reason. Sleeping's coming back down there with AMS to follow him. And it looks like they're just going to set up down bottom. Like I said, this is why skill cap wasn't moved down here. It becomes a lot more difficult to manipulate the match. And I'm kind of surprised, actually, that they're going to follow him down.
So Sleeping is going to be the target for skill cap right now. Goochii with his Divine Favor up, pumping out those fast crit heals. But Pooks again, this is what's happened last time. Oh, he's so low. I think the DK got his block. We'll have to see what spell he got. Of course, Pooks having to sit in there, and Toes using Aura Mastery right out of it, able to pick Pooks back up to full. And it was Ice Block, and that was great. He got rid of all the dots. Look at that grab. That was extremely smart by Sleeping. he can sit through the entire thing while his Hunter is constantly going to deal damage.
Yep, and Sleeping's taking a ton of damage to the face as Pookz is there to shatter him out of that ice block that he stole. AMS though, but it still doesn't matter. Trudging through all this damage, and CC they're trying to throw his way.
Yet again, Pookz is in trouble right now as Toez gets trapped. A bop onto Pookz. I liked that right there. Great job by Toez, because he knows it could be dangerous. And look at that disengage by the Hunter to get out of line of sight. That was smart play right there. All right.
Sleeping's trying to gain some distance here from the fight. Jungyup.
Every time that Pookz wants to commit on a target, that Hunter is always in line of sight. Big DK pet transform right there, trying to do damage to Pookz as he gets a stun off. Pookz with blazing speed, getting a little bit away, and oh, great job using that water elemental to bait that trap.
Well,
and there they go, they're going to go onto Jungyup. Goochii is counterspelled right now. Lots of damage, followed by a sheep onto Goochii, who's not going to bubble it.
Yep. No, he is not. There's no dots really on Jungyup, just a Corruption and Curse of Agony, looks like.
Yeah, that was a great job by Jungyup getting far away. Of course, Hand of Sacrifice onto Pookz right now. Jungyup feigns right there. Goochii in a bubble right now. Sleeping low, Jungyup low, Goochii low. And of course, Toez already having to use his trinket, which means that his bubble is going to be his only defense after this. Jungyup trying to keep himself in line of sight, but the damage is just rolling out. Pookz eating a lot of damage with those necrotic strikes stacked up yet again, and they like to stack the silence on top of it. But look at Sleepingss also low, and a thing to note is Pookz has the wings from the Paladin of Goochii right now. Is going to be able to do a ton of damage.
Yep, a really solid spell steal by him. And you see, like earlier in this match, about a minute ago here, about 5:40, right about 5, we saw a pretty big difference in health between OMG and skill capped. OMG was actually, you know, the vast majority of the members were sub 70%, sub 60%. They were able to get back. And
yeah, and Pookz is basically sacrificing that pet right there. Forgot to bring it up with him at that point, so it's going to be down for a little while. I know I believe he already snapped, so he's not going to be able to refresh that instantly, but look at both teams trying to let their Paladins regain mana as there's an H or J onto Sleepingss. We see that Master's Call right after, trying to get him onto his target constantly. Wow, look at that! Pookz taking a massive amount of damage all of a sudden, knows it's coming and blocks because Toez up there is H or J'd by the other Paladin with the wings out from Pookz.
That's all it takes, honestly. Like a scatter shot into an HOJ is exactly.
Oh, and here they go. They're going to go on Goochii now. Oh, as he's all the way out of line of sight. Never mind. But Jungyup hitting that rapid fire, getting out of it, and Pookz taking so much damage from that Hunter, from the DK. He's trying to use that freedom to get away right now. Oh, he's in trouble. He's still getting a lot of damage onto him, but Toez right now is bubbled. His pet just faded. Those massive heals aren't going to help, but look at the damage onto Goochii again. But he's going to get away there, but Pookz, necrotic strikes yet again. It's so dangerous for Pookz right now. Toez is right on top of him too. A crowd control of any sort. Luckily, this team doesn't have it.
Yep.
All right, and there goes the next Hand of Sacrifice. Very important at this point. Toez already used his War Stomp earlier, but his Trinket is back up.
So we're rolling up on about the 7.5 minute mark here, VL. Got a pretty even match here, but it's pretty obvious that OMG is comfortable playing down low because, you know, that bridge-to-bridge stuff is not working out.
Again, as we see the scatter onto Snuts, Toez getting a instant heal in a second, not choosing to use it quite yet, and there was another spell stolen by Sleepingss. Of course, Pookz able to survive through that onslaught, but they're going to switch onto Snuts because he's a little bit out of position from his healer. But look at all the damage onto Goochii. A counterspell followed by a fear. Goochii's in trouble right now, but look at this. Every single time they know he's going on him. Oh, but a deep freeze. However, Pookz not able to get over to him quite yet, but Pookz taking a lot of damage. They're going to bet it all on this kill onto Goochii right now.
Yeah, but at least that Jungyup is just putting so much damage into his back.
Onto Toez right now, but Pookz.
I mean, Pookz can't live if Toez gets CC. It's just as simple as that.
Oh, yeah, and no, he can't even peek his face out as Jungyup is now connecting on him again. Goochii's about to die.
Wow.
Trying to heal himself right now. No damage coming out. Pookz needs a cast on him, but Pookz is going to die. We have a cross kill. All right, so this is all up to Toez at this point. Toez has to manage to win this 2v2 currently.
Yep, and Snuts needs to do some work here. He portals up top. I was about to say, pretty big advantage being the Warlock.
But if they go on Toez gotta see his cooldowns. He's using everything he can right now as there's a Strangulate on him and Necrotic Strike stacking up. Unholy Frenzy onto Sleeping, doing so much damage. Snuts blinded, Snuts strangulated, and AMS goes up. any Aura Mastery he's going to be able to cast if he needs to. Aura Mastery fades, and here comes the Necrotic Strikes again.
Yep, beautiful fake. Oh, that one caught him, though.
He's got nothing.
He's got war stuff, but
And
it's not going to be
down.
anything. Wow.
Wow.
Goochii sitting here nearly frozen in his chair watching
All right,
that match.
Snuts, let's see it happen. If Snuts can kill Sleeping here, he's still going to have a problem with the DK.
Come on, where's that portal? He can just
No, his
portal
portal's
up.
not up. 15 seconds on
15
portal.
seconds.
He's in trouble.
No health stone.
No, Snuts is going to go down.
And
Oh!
Jungyup puts it in.
What an effort. What an effort by Snuts. Play it to the end. Wow.
It's been a while, VHL, since we've seen this type of competition. This blows my mind.
Wow.
It's difficult to form words around the things I'm seeing.
And look at that. You got to be extremely happy at this point.
Oh, yeah.
OMG up 2-0 currently.
Looks like a little advice being given by one veteran rogue.
It definitely is, and that's Wreckful. I mean, everyone knows Wreckful.
Yeah.
Of course, he's
a
getting
good
him
guy.
a little hype-up speech,
Yeah.
telling him not to let it get into
Yeah.
his head, because they can just come back from this, even though it is 2-0 currently.
Yeah, but we've seen crazier things in WoW tournaments and Blizzcon alike. And if any team can come back from such a deficit, it has got to be skill capped. And we might have to call on you to make some pretty serious noise here in a minute for those guys.
Oh, yes, because this is it for them.
This
is going
could
to be the
be-
last time, the last chance. It's going to put these guys back in once they are ready. So I want to see the final. 2-0 right now.
I know. It's a treat to behold. I almost forget that I'm like here working. I'm just so enamored with what I see here and watching these guys, and it's just, oh, what a great tournament so far, VHL. All the way up to this point in the grand finals, just amazing.
And wow, that cross kill right there. Pookzkoop right at the end had no more defensive abilities up and just dropping. See, once these players are ready, looks like Skillcap talking it over a little bit first, trying to decide what's going on. Because it was a smart switch to have Toes on Paladin against this comp.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean, if they had been playing Shaman, this match would have been over by now, honestly. Like 3-0, GG.
And that's why it's so important that you can play more than one class in these tournaments.
Yep, and that's what I was saying. Are they going to bust out a different comp? Obviously, you know, the South Korean OMG doesn't need to, but it's good to see Toes busting out that Paladin, trying to counter the DK and Hunter issues at hand.
And that's exactly
much
what they're
damage.
doing right now, because we have to wait for them to lock in their comps in between each round before we can start again. It's like we're just waiting on them at this point. I can guarantee the Korean team is making absolutely no changes.
No.
And how about how fast they damage Pooks?
Well, he's a mage with Frost Barrier down, Mana Shield down. There's really nothing to mitigate any of that damage. Going to do max damage.
All right, guys, I know we had a lot of skill cap fans before in the earlier matches. These guys need to get fired up for this match. Facing elimination, $75,000 on the line for this team. Wow.
Yeah. Can you put your hands together? Can you make a lot of noise for Skill Cap? If you want to see them win, if you want to see them come back and sweep 3 maps.
Look at that.
All right, it would appear a lot of people want to see that. That's good.
Yeah, it was exciting finals.
Yeah.
All right. And now, how scared
Just want to watch it.
do you think Skill Cap is of ROV right now?
I think terrified. Yes, filled with trepidation. I would go so far as to say.
So we'll have to see what the RNG gods are going to decide for this possible final match. OMG up 2-0. Last round was extremely close, though.
Yes,
So
it was.
that could have gone to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, a cross kill always shows you a close match. You know, you never see a cross kill unless someone's AFK, basically. And I don't think anybody's going to be AFK here on the main stage of Blizzcon 2011. I'm wondering if they're going to change up, race, if they're going to stick with the setup they've been going with so far, maybe go back ally. Interested to see.
Well, I'm sending him into the arena right now, so we will see in just a moment. See
I
what
must
map
know.
it's going to be on.
It probably will be.
There we go.
Okay.
And I believe this is the teams. Let's take a look at them. They join, and there we go. It is. It's going to be on Ruins of Lordaeron this time.
Which is a difficult map. once again, honestly, for MLS and MLP. Like I said, Jungyup is just going to be able to sit at the edge of that fight and rotate around, do whatever he wants.
All right, so we are back in the game, of course. OMG up 2-0 over Skillcapped, and Skillcapped earlier in this tournament seemed so dominant, and of course they have defeated this team once already.
Yes, they have, and narrowly though. It was a very narrow victory, and I think now OMG knows what to expect. You know, like I said, like we saw in their little interview, they were a little wary of this particular matchup. But like I said, I didn't think it was fear. I think it was more so respect. And you know, I think that's confirmed now. We've seen OMG just play at the very, very highest level. And that's because they know they have to. If they let a mistake go by at all, Skillcap will destroy them.
All right. Gates are going to open pretty soon. Skillcap's last chance at the money. Snuts, it's a year later. He lost at the very end last year. If he can come back, they need 3 in a row to take this.
They do against HBDK, a difficult counter comp. And there you see the
countdown
countdown
timer.
Okay,
give
this
them
could
some
be
noise.
it, guys.
Let's go.
This could be the last
this
match
is the
you see them play for a while.
Possibly $75,000 on the line for OMG right now, or a chance to come back for Skillcapped as immediately Toes gets scattered trapped, and he's going to trinket right from the start. Look at the damage onto Snuts right from the beginning, but so onto Goochii, as Gucci's going to Divine Protection right there with a fear. Hasn't had to trinket yet, and I think that's what the team of Skillcap was trying to bank on right there.
Snuts so low with that
with the pop.
Oh. Using
Trying
that
to cast as Toes is
everything.
silenced right now with Strangulate. Toes getting so low. Once that bop fades, he's going to be in trouble. Sleepingss death coiled right now. Toes with Divine Shield up. They have forced so much out of Toes straight from the start. Not looking good for Skillcapped right from the start.
Yeah, no, it's not. And I thought Gucci was going to have to bubble there early on, but he held out for it. And that's going to be a huge turning point in this match, honestly. Very, very beginning. To have forbearance up on Toes is going to be so susceptible to every point of CC. And just Jungyup caught into a fear. Kind of feared out of the fight here. This could be a good time to CC him.
Turn it back on
Sleepingss, yep, getting that damage done onto the DK, while the Hunter is left to just run rampant. You see him just pumping steady shots into Snuts. Snuts jumping dangerously low before he portals back to safety.
He has to find his Paladin right now because he's going to have pets on him.
I use the
Snuts
term safety so loosely right
Toes
now.
is silenced right now.
This could be the
He needs to be healed up, and there he
Skillcap.
goes. 30,000 heal, but they're going to switch it onto Toes. Starting to stack necrotics where they can. Jungyup down to half right now with that deterrence. Smart move there.
Yep, got
Gucci
that worst
only
off.
having trinkets so far. And wow, and here comes the crowd control now. Skillcapped is getting back into it as Sleeping gets really low.
Yeah.
Gucci's trying to heal him. And Jungyup feigned as Pooks trying to cast on Jungyup, and that seems to be his target, but Pooks is having so much trouble keeping him in line of sight.
Yeah, it's a pain for sure. Like I said, he's going to be able to just
but now he has him right where he wants him, right in front of his face as he's dumping damage into Jungyup. No crowd control onto Gucci quite yet as he pops his wings, trying to get massive amount of heals. Look at that, Master's Call, Rapid Fire, Hand of Sacrifice. They're doing everything they can to put damage in because they know they can kill Snuts. Toes right now almost has his trinket back up, but no bubble as of yet.
This is good for them. Jungyup, I believe he's already used his readiness and his deterrence. You saw, I mean, he may have 1 deterrence left, but Jungyup is a big target. Sleeping has been spiking down below 50% regularly. This is good for Skillcap. They're spreading out their damage. They're doing it successfully, and they're not, none of them are about to just fall over dead.
That would have Venom for the extra healing debuff is on him. A big fear, all 3 targets right now. And he's silenced onto Gucci. He has no way out of this. Sleeping is in trouble. HRJ onto Gucci. Pooks also taking damage. Pooks trying to get out of there right now.
They still have to take out Jungyup.
There they go as they leave the arena.
All right.
At that.
Good job, guys. Your cheering apparently worked.
I can't believe Snuts lived through that.
Believe it.
Wow.
Just happened.
Portaling away with 10,000 hit points and a necrotic stack.
Yep.
A necrotic stack.
And just stand there and just hope. Toes is the next person you see in line of sight of you. And it was. I mean, it worked out for sure. And Pooks had some great peels there. He forced Jungyup's hand so many times there where he should have been doing damage and getting a kill shot in on Snuts. Instead, he was dealing with Pooks. And the teamwork coming out of Skillcap right now is the only reason they stayed in that match as long as they did. But still, Ring of Valor could be looming right around the corner.
Definitely could. As the players are trying to get themselves psyched up for this match yet again. Korean team, not much changes on their expressions. I mean, they were very happy for the first 2 wins, obviously, but they know what they have to do. All they have to do, they've got 2 cloth targets, and they can go on either one.
Exactly. I mean, they're playing PHDK, and they obviously know what they're doing. It's just a matter of target selection for them and cooldown management. And even the cooldown management part's not really that difficult. Their DPS can really afford to just go all out at the beginning, and then Goochii is there to back him up. You saw his late bubble. You know, the fact that he saved his bubble when he was at 20% through like silence and root. I mean, it just really speaks volumes about his confidence in his teammates. And just little things like that can make or break a matchup. But it's so impressive that Skill-Cap was able to convert that into a kill and really just kind of let Goochii do his own thing. He didn't even really bother with it. Just said, we're going to shut down your DPS real hard. And that's what happens.
All right, no Ring of Valor yet. It's in a grand arena. Nice balanced map for these 2 teams to face off on. That pillar is going to see so much action.
Damage for days. Lots of number spam here in our UI is what you can expect from the very beginning of all these matches. Because PHDK is all about that damage. It's not a late game comp. It's not really that much of a finesse comp if you think about it. They are just here to pick targets and do work. And hey, you can't argue with the results for sure. Skilled-Cap, though, having a pretty difficult time answering back on that playing MLP. You know, MLS would be impossible. And then Mage like Paladin, well, it's doable. That's about the best you can say in this particular matchup. And going into the Grand on a nice wide open arena, final. I'd say this is about as good as it gets.
Keeping it interesting, currently down 1-2, best of 5 for $75,000. Of course, top left is going to be your team of Skill-Capped. It's going to be Pooks playing the Troll Frost Mage, Snuts playing the Goblin Affliction Warlock, and Toes on Holy Paladin. Top right, going to be the team of OMG with so much damage coming out from it. Goochii on Paladin, Jungyup playing that Hunter, representing the Hunter class, and Sleepingss on DK. Give it up. This is a huge match.
Yep. Everything
the Grand Arena.
Here. It could end at any moment for Skill-Capped, and honestly, Skill-Capped can come back at any moment and take OMG out of this tournament. And look now how hesitant they are to engage here on the Grand.
They really
I expected Jungyup to be in the middle, dismounting, just pummeling targets. Instead, he's going to stay back by his pillars.
Now you can see Snuts trying to get dots where he can, because if he can get a good stack going, he's going to be able to soul swap that all around.
Yeah. And we shall see. I mean, he's pushing up, a little bit. Just got to be careful.
All right. So Snuts looking for his target right now. They haven't used him much, as they're just going to dart in and out of line of sight, and that's what they're waiting for, a good grip. And that's why he is Goblin right there, able to rocket jump a bit away, as he's going to resummon his pet, and there he goes. He's going to switch from the Fell Hunter to the Imp for that Singe, and Jungyup is stuck in the middle right now. Impact stun. No CC onto Goochii quite yet, as we see a stun on to Pooks from the pet, as he's going to try to kite back a bit, and the Grand might play a little bit more in the favor of Pooks living this time around. Yeah, for sure. And he was standing there, I saw Sleepingss on there for just a second before he was peeled. And Jungyup swapping onto Pooks did surprisingly little damage. I'm really curious to see what OMG is going to be doing here in the next minute and a half of this match, because it's a very different play style than what we've seen so far in this tournament. It's almost like they were thrown back a minute by that win on Ruins by Skill-Cap, but I'm still not sure. Maybe it's just a really clever trick to just get Skill-Cap to overextend, to get overconfident, think, yeah, we can do this. And then they'll spring this trap. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here on the Grand VL, but it's sure to be a fast-paced bloodbath when it unfolds. Oh, yes. All right, so what Snuts is doing right now, changing his pet out because he needs to get some more dispels going, and that's what they're trying to do at this point. Now, Pook's sitting up pretty far back, trying to cast onto Jungyup. It's amazing. Both teams playing so passively because they want to wait for the other team to commit.
Yeah.
But it looks like Pooks might be going in right now as they get a deep freeze onto Jungyup, starting the damage out very soon as we see an anti-magic zone right from the start. But look, Pooks instantly taken down to 50% health as we just had a steal, but Pooks so much trouble right now.
Yeah, he's going to be blocking. Actually, he's going to be evo-kitting here right in the face. Sleepingss pulled around the pillar, did not even go for the interrupt. Kind of blowing my mind. Snuts taking a lot of damage, throws down another portal on this side, a more offensive portal placement. And still not peeking out again, not overextending at all.
Oh, that was a good ring placement. It means that they can't get back. Oh, but look at what Pooks did. He just blinked into line of sight.
And he went for the poly, but he got silencing shot and then into a Hodge.
Oh, this was a bad situation. Pooks used his blink first, used his trinket, and had to block.
Yeah, and even worse, the DK is next to him when he comes out of block. Oh, yes. So Sleeping, you're just going to see, he's going to stay on him. Nice coil peel. coming out of Snutzone, it looks like, and they're going to try to set up some damage on Jungyup, but he uses his deterrence, and he's going to hide behind that trap, which I don't blame him one bit.
So there's a really smart move on the PHDK's front because they are using Unholy Frenzy to keep their Paladin out of CC. Jungyup in that deep freeze with lots of lances coming at him, taking a lot of damage. Toezpal not having to use any cooldowns quite yet.
You see Goochii falling back with Jungyup, just trading spaces on the map here. Sleepingss caught into a deep freeze, throwing a little bit of damage out. We've seen very, very consistent play here out of Skillcap in the last couple of maps. And I've noticed that they've stabilized quite a bit more. Even while they're being aggressive, their health bars are staying higher. They're just playing a little bit more carefully, toasting a 6-second strangle as Pookz is sitting in a silencing shot. And he does not have hyperthermia up, but using a cold snap here at about the 3 or 4 minute mark would be kind of rough.
We have a blind onto Toes right now from the Monkey Pet. Now Pookz is sitting down to half. We see the wings come out on Toezpal, trying to get those huge heals because Jungyup in a good position to die right now because Goochii was behind the pillar, but Jungyup getting around the pillar quite quickly, and Pookz taking so much damage. We hear Snuts starting to fear. And there we go, a bubble out of Goochii right now. Second block, Pookz is probably going to sit all the way through this as he tries to run, but he's so low on life right now. Toes, though, able to get that bop off, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Goochii's shield is down, however, he does have that Guardian.
Yeah, but I'm noticing Jungyup gaining some more energy here. Yeah, he's definitely going to be falling back, kind of letting that recharge. He's going to go set up some bursts here in just a minute on Pookz. No doubt about it at all. Whoever pushes up, really, you see Snuts getting into space, trying to throw some dots out there as they push up on that pillar. Pookz is probably going to be the main target of choice here for this PHDK. They'll definitely be the smart thing to do.
Onto Goochii right now, taking a lot of damage. Again, he doesn't have much to use. Counterspell with that AMZ on top of it. Still, look at the damage coming out as he has to use everything possible. That Divine Protection sprinting away.
Yep, and he's coiled out into the open, and we've seen it. This is beautiful pathing for them. 40k hit points. There's the Nova. Impact stun is going to be able to keep damaging right onto his back.
They are betting it all.
COC. Oh, the Cone of Cold Nova.
Oh, with the impact stun.
Barely in his track.
Damage.
There's the blanket stun. Steve getting 60 seconds. Yeah, tie it up. Tied it up 2-2 on the Grand. What is up?
That was impressive.
Impressive.
I really liked that they went for broke right at the end. Pookz didn't have a block.
Yeah.
Pookz had forbearance. Everything.
It's really, it's like a different level of play. You know, you see them, they're being aggressive. They're pulling cooldowns out of this PHDK while giving very few. Pookz is actually the only one who's using cooldowns on, you know, kind of an absurd level, and that's because he has to. He's a Mage versus PHDK. That's just how the game goes. But you see they're getting aggressive, and their health bars are not dipping nearly as much as they were the first 2 maps. I'd be kind of curious to check out the gear over there on Skillcap, see what's changed, because it's not just the tactics. There's also, I believe, maybe a gear and spec change, because we're seeing far more consistency when it comes to just their CC setups. You know, they're not spiking as hard. Toes is not having to work as hard. Whatever they have done, Skillcap is clearly still in this. And we're sitting here tied 2-2. Blizzcon 2011 Grand Finals tied up 2-2, whereas moments ago, PHDK, OMG from South Korea was up 0-2 on the North American Skillcap, and now we have it tied. I know you guys were clapping a second ago.
All right, guys.
We're going to get this going.
All right, so it sounds like the players are ready for this. Come on, it comes down to the 5th game.
Can I get a massive, a special round of applause for the last possible game and the Blizzcon 2011 Grand Finals.
All right, here we go.
Looks like
the deciding map is going to be on Dalaran Arena.
Why not?
Oh yes. So we're going to get into it right now. Of course, top left is going to be your team of skill-capped, fighting their way back from a 0-2 deficit. Pookz has been in situations like this before, but the man who has a lot to prove right now, of course, Snuts. This will be his comeback.
You know what I want to know, Vihel?
What?
What did Reckful say to Snuts? Because things got pretty good over there on the right side of the stage after that. So yeah, definitely curious as to what changes Skillcap has made, and I'm also curious to see what OMG has done over here, because they were up 2-0 in a comfortable position. And now their backs, their backs aren't really to the wall, they're on even footing. You know, now instead of just like, hey, we did it, it's more like, holy crap, we really have to work for this, you know?
And they definitely do. I mean,
yeah.
both teams playing absolutely phenomenally. OMG just doing so much damage on Pooks every single time.
Well, at least their respect and fear was not misplaced. I know for sure Skill Cap was.
All right, let's hear it. Skill Cap needs to take this right now if they want to win. OMG also $75,000 on the line for this one map.
Bragging rights. You've seen the story of Snutzone coming back from last year to this year.
Straight from the start, Pooks, so much damage. Trying to get behind that pillar as the Hand of Sacrifice already came out, plus the wings from Toes. Very early damage again out of OMG. But look at the impact
spiking so hard, and impact stun,
wow.
unable to deter it. And he doesn't really need to. It looks like he's picked up by Goochii, actually. That was pretty ridiculous burst.
It definitely is. All right, so he is going to try. So you can see Jungyup isn't going to have much success as he's rooted behind the box right now. He's waiting for the players to push up right now. Deep freeze onto Sleeping with a fear onto Jungyup as he's in the center of the map by himself. But Snuts with the stacked up necrotic strike yet again tries to jump away. Toes tossing out some heals as we see a steal onto something of Pooks. We'll find out what he has right now. A sheep onto Goochii with a fear onto Sleepingss. Lots of crowd control going out, and he stole a sheep as Toes gets out of that.
Yeah.
It could have been a dangerous situation with that stolen sheep. We see a counterspell onto Sleeping pretty early right there. Just trying to dump a bit of damage, and there we go again, the Unholy Frenzy onto Goochii. They know the CC is coming on him.
For sure, and look at the setup here. Snuts is playing way differently than he has been earlier in this match. Pooks is going to go ahead and block there at 80k
yeah.
through that silencing shot.
Okay, this is what happened there. Toes and Pooks both used a block and a trinket, as Toes is now blinded. Oh no, Pooks is by himself on the stairs. Toes right next to him though. Now he's going to be able to get him in line instead of healing. Goochii has already used his trinket. No bubble yet though. Pooks is trying to get out of the way as he blinks with a turn and using that evocation with the glyph to get his life back up to full.
Yep, and they're just going to go for a little reset here. OMG has got to be pretty happy with this, actually. You know, it was looking bad for Jungyup, we're not going to lie. It looks like Goochii was going to have to use that bubble early on as well. They've actually caught a break here on sewers, I believe. Caught some lucky pathing, and now they're back on their side of the boxes. Goochii playing down low while Sleeping is sitting up top, kind of guarding. Him and Jungyup playing defense on their boxes while Goochii is sitting on the bottom. He's going back over to stairs right now.
And this is what's dangerous, but playing at the bottom is now when your player is feared away, you've got to make a very fast move up top, and they know where you're going to have to go.
Yep,
as you can see, this is I like this strat, although from Goochii is he's playing pretty passively. They must know that they can go on Sleeping right now. Look at how far away Sleeping is. He's trying to get over there. They drop that ring down, but they're still going on to Pooks, who's now in line of sight of both the Hunter and a melee range of the DK.
Yep, Goochii max range. Snuts sitting in a scatter shot, so waiting for him to get out of that before I see any blank signs. Actually, that was an impact into Poly, perfectly timed by Pooks. Had just enough time to channel it, and there's a Curse of Tongues on Goochii, just to be sure whenever he gets out of that.
So Sleeping, of course, is trying to LOS everything he can. So we see that buff go out.
Just so much control.
In a fear, but Goochii taking a lot of damage with a death coil on top. He has his bubble.
What's up? Let's keep it going. Can I get a fifth CC?
Oh, he didn't use it yet. Oh, wow. He held onto it as long as he could, using that Divine Protection and his Guardian first to get those huge heals out. But again, every single time when their kill doesn't work, they switch right back onto Pooks.
Yep, and Jungyup getting shattered here, actually. He's got Rapid Fire up into Deep Freeze, so not as effective as he'd like to be. Actually taking damage. Impact stunned on Disengage. I like it, I like it. And there's the deterrence.
And the damage onto Snuts right now. He already has Portaled. He has 9 seconds on Portal. He uses that big fear. So they have a sheep and a fear onto Sleeping right now. Jungyup down to half right now. Goochii with his trinket coming back up very, very soon. As you see that impact stun, he's going to be able to get out of it next.
This could be it. Damage. Setting up on Jungyup. Blanket silence on the Goochii here. They're either going to have to get a bubble out of Goochii extremely soon.
That Hand of Sacrifice really saved them right now. Got him out of that bubble. Very important because now he's going to be able to save his trinket. And now Pooks, so much damage having to blink away yet again as Toes was blinded with his wings up.
Yeah, I mean, he can't really stand out there for more than a global or two with Jungyup targeting him because it just takes so much more effort for Toes to heal him than it does for him to line of sight that silly amount of damage the Hunter can do. It's better for Snuts to push up on him like we've seen and get that fear, get the dots rolling, and then Jungyup caught to a deep freeze is just a massive target. You know, Goochii hasn't really bubbled yet, and the CC, it's been tough to land on him because he's been playing, you know, down low. He's actually drinking right behind his boxes on the ground level.
And this is the same position they used earlier. It's an interesting strat. Haven't really seen it much. Of course, Goochii eating that deep freeze right there. Trying to force a bubble out of him pretty early, but they need to coordinate the damage onto one target so he gets scared enough to run it. Of course, Pooks again taking so much damage. They're liking this trap placement.
Ooh,
being able to get behind the box, and yeah, definitely needs to block right there.
Yeah, that was...
Now, the Necrotic Strike onto Toes, even though he doesn't have to cast much, is going to affect him when he needs to. As Pooks gets out of that block, and he's going to start casting onto Sleepingss, who is blanket silenced right now.
And this, I mean, honestly, this match can't go on much longer. PHDK, not known for its longevity. You see on the skill cap side of the health bars, they're sitting pretty. Pook's under some pressure, but they've got an advantage here.
All right. Pook's trying to get onto Sleeping, but he's going to choose to hide behind. There we go. Now we're going to see the Zerkin come out of Pook's. Going to get a little extra damage with that faster cast, but Snuts taking damage too because they can't get onto Pooks. We see a grip all the way onto Toes, trying to get him away from those boxes as he tried to switch sides. The Aura Mastery again by Goochii.
And Sleeping has AMS back up, so a lot of that magic damage you see rolling on is probably not going to convert into a kill. You know, it's a bait, really. If they come at him, he's going to AMS and throw damage down, and you can see skill cap not falling for such tricks.
And these jumping instants by the Paladin, of course, he's going to toss that Hand of Sacrifice out, going to stop that crowd control, half damage towards him. As he gets feared yet again, fear on Sleepingss, and another evocation out of Pooks, getting him back up to full as we see another spell stolen by Sleepingss.
Yep, and Paladin mana here. Goochii at about 20k, you see Toes sitting about 30k, so pretty even usage. I'd say Sleepingss, a good blanket silence onto
we got another.
DK. It's a little late, actually. But
right now, Toes oh, there we go. It's a blind into a trap right now with Pooks by himself. Toes not trinketing right now, and that was a great job. Followed by a scatter, though. Now Toes,
get the bop off.
Oh, he trinketed right as he got Aether Jade right after, but was able to get the bop off.
Yeah, but Toes still has War Stomp, actually. I'm looking to see Toes set up that War Stomp, Snuts, walk in and get that How. That could be a huge setup for them. I mean, it's not like there's any trimmer to worry about. You know, they really need to be capitalizing on how much OMG is grouping on these boxes right now. And actually, down bottom, Sleeping and Goochii are playing down bottom while Jungyup is up top. They can pressure, they can take over these boxes as skill cap and just control these stairs. You know, basically just make them stay in line of sight all this time. Not even keeping them snared though. They got so much pressure out on Sleeping that Jungyup is able to just roll
there we go,
the
ring after the sheep. However, they switch on to him. They realize he's a good target because Jungyup is so far away, and so is Sleeping, but Pooks needing to get out of there to stop that offensive push. Oh boy, here he comes. He's got so much damage onto him as he tries to get away. The War Stomp came out by Toes a little early, stopped them, try to get on him, but yeah, there we go. Now Pooks living through that onslaught. And now we have the damage turned right back onto him. But now that Pooks is away, they're gonna go straight for Snuts, of course.
And Goochie's sitting at half health actually in that AMZ. You see Jungyup topped off. Goochii eating a blanket silence.
Pretty good, that blanket silence on top of him.
This is what I've been saying. The split damage will work for them if they can make it actually stick. Impact stun onto Goochii. Sleeping taking so much damage, and Gucci's got his work cut out for him right here.
And now Snuts. There goes the Aura Mastery yet again, but Sleeping's kind of low. Snuts trying to live through this deep freeze onto Goochii right now. Snuts doing all the damage he can. Wow. Spikes down a little low, but Pooks now taking a ton of damage.
Oh, if he catches Itty, there's the blanket silence. Sleeping's a target, Gucci's a target. You know, they're just trying to get the cooldowns out of this guy. And he is
they are. There we go. Okay, they force Gucci's bubble right now, but Pooks has to live through this. Yep. As he's got 1,300 hit points.
Can they convert it onto Sleeping? Snuts caught into a scatter. There's the portal, and they do not play it out.
Wow. What an exciting finals.
South Korea, what's up?
Your champions.
We saw that coming.
As they need to play it out as Toes is standing there.
Yeah.
Look at those players.
Wow.
Such a defeat for the team of Skillcapped, but look at the elation out of the team of OMG. Came all the way from Korea to compete at this tournament.
We've seen it all, VL.
All right. Wow.
And that has got to be heartbreaking. Skillcap, so very close, but you can't really beat yourself up over a match like that. It was so close, down to the wire countless times.
Oh, I loved their swaps. Every time that Pooks was not a viable target, they went on Snuts immediately. Yeah. The constant crowd control, every time they could. Toes ate so many blinds off of that monkey pet. Amazing. All right. But there you have it. A 3-2 final is always like what we like to see. Fortunately for the team of Skillcap, they weren't able to win that last round, as they're both quite angry about it, but our damage numbers, especially in that last match, I mean, Sleepingss was doing a great amount of damage. Of course, Pook's tossing out some serious damage too. A couple 24K frost bolts. Of course, we were using last season's gear for this matchup.
Yep, and you know, it all really boils down to the control out of skill caps against that PhD key, which is tough to establish, especially